Hello beautiful people, welcome to the channel. Reverend Debbie here, hope you're doing well. I was actually going to release another video today, but this showed up on my newsfeed late last night, so I have decided to cover it today. All to do with Marilyn Manson, and it is a timeline of the allegations against the embattled rock star. This is an article from The Independent, written by Tom Murray in New York and Kevin E.G. Perry, probably in California. Now, some of you may already know this story or have heard of this story. And some of you are going to say, well, you know, he's a rock star. This is the sort of thing that rock stars do. And that is enabling him. And that is wrong, because whether he's a rock star, an actor, or a dustbin man, SA is still illegal. It's still a crime against women. So I had a friend who I mentioned this to, and also about another band whose lead vocalist was also embroiled in SA and SV charges, and we disagreed, so we are no longer friends. And again, he was a person who said, yes, but they're a rock star, and any woman who goes with a rock star should know this. And again, no, stop enabling these people. Stop it. This is abuse against women. So I'm going to read this article. And also want to mention that there is a documentary on Channel 4, I believe. I'm not sure if it's released at the moment or if it's released tomorrow. I remember seeing something about the 14th, so I will see. Excuse me again for the dress. I've just finished my run and I have no other time today to record this. So, right, controversial artist is accused of abuse by more than a dozen women. Now, this is a very triggering article. I am going to put a trigger warning on here. So if you have experienced something like this, you may not want to watch this video. Marilyn Manson has always been a controversial figure in music. And to be honest, I actually used to really like his music. I really, really did. I think Beautiful People is an excellent song and his cover versions have been excellent as well. However, because of this, I will no longer be supporting his music. And I know that a lot of people say, well, you should separate that from the artist's, you know, genius. I'm sorry, there are certain things that I can separate, but SA and SV, I can't, because those are misogynistic, patriarchal crimes against women. Critics in the 90s accused his lewd brand of rock music of promoting Satanism, degrading women and inciting violence, even blaming him for the Columbine High School massacre of 1999. His career took a particularly sinister turn in 2021 when his former partner, Westworld star Evan Rachel Wood, accused Manson of psychologically and essaying her. Evan Rachel Wood was the actress that played Dolores in Westworld. It was a very good series, that. Excuse me. More than a dozen other women have since come forward with similar accusations against the musician. Manson, whose legal name is Brian Warner, has consistently denied essaying or abusing anyone, claiming that his intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners. Now, I'm going to say, if the partner is like-minded and if there's consensual, you know, agreement, that's fair enough. That's between the two people. But these women are stepping forward and saying it wasn't. And I know that some of you out there are going to say, yeah, but they only want money and this, that, and the next thing. These are women who already have careers and money. It takes a huge amount of strength to step forward and accuse people and make allegations against them about these kind of things. Because the woman is the one that is made out to be the perpetrator. We all know this. We all know this. Victim blaming. Oh, but she's just saying that because of this, and she's just saying that because of this. No, that's not the case. It takes a huge amount of courage for a woman to stand up and say these things in public, because they know that that's the kind of reaction they're going to get. Sorry, I've just lost where I was now. A new documentary series, this doesn't want to scroll because something's happening up here. Go away, whatever you are. A new documentary series exploring the accusations Marilyn Manson unmasked is set to arrive on Channel 4 tomorrow, 14th of January. Below, The Independent has put together a timeline of the allegations facing the rock artist since Wood went public. Warning, this article contains graphic references to SA that some readers may find upsetting. 1st of February 2021, Evan Rachel Wood publicly names Manson as her alleged abuser. After years of alleging that she was raped and abused, Wood named Manson as the alleged perpetrator. The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson, Wood wrote on Instagram in a since deleted post. And you know, that's another thing. Why do women have to delete these posts? Why? It makes no sense to me. People need to be aware of the men who commit these crimes, whether they're allegations or not, because it gives that woman the information and knowledge to choose whether she will date this person or, you know, continue a relationship with this person. The actor accused Manson of grooming her when she was a teenager, horrifically abusing her for years, as well as brainwashing and manipulating her into submission. I can see that Manson is probably, you know, dominative or a dominator of women. His music, his dress sense, all the rest of it. And I don't disagree with that. You know, I'm a goth, I'm a metalhead. But just because of that does not mean that I am that way inclined and that I want to be abused. That's, you know, again, we come down to consent. Following Wood's post, Manson and Wood began their relationship in 2007 when Wood was 18 and Manson was 36. You know, nonce springs to mind. They were engaged in January 2010 but called off their relationship 7 months later. Following Wood's post, at least 4 other women shared their own allegations against Manson, including SA, psychological abuse and various forms of violence, coercion and intimidation. Manson was dropped by his record label Loma Vista, while his US publicist told The Independent they would no longer be working with him. Why would they drop him if this wasn't true? They were making a lot of money from him. So they made a decision to do that. Manson responds to the allegations with a statement. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners, regardless of how and why others are now choosing to misinterpret the past that is the truth. 4th of February 2021, Phoebe Bridgers alleges Manson referred to a room in his house as the Grape Room. In a post on social media, indie artist Phoebe Bridgers shared her support for Wood and the other women who had come forward with allegations against Manson. She also recalled visiting Manson's house as a teenager, where he allegedly pointed out a grape room. I went to Marilyn Manson's house when I was a teenager with some friends, Bridgers wrote. I was a big fan. He referred to a room in his house as the Grape Room. I thought it was just his horrible frat boy sense of humour. I stopped being a fan. Ditto. 6th of February 2021, Corey Feldman accuses Manson of decades-long mental and emotional abuse. In a lengthy Instagram post, the Lost Boys actor Feldman accused Manson of a decades-long mental and emotional abuse. And I want to remind everybody that mental and emotional abuse are the same as physical and SA. They are the same. It causes immense trauma for the person going through it that will stay with them for their life. Even if they go and seek psychotherapy or any other kind of therapy, that is still going to be within their body, within their mind, and they will have a reaction to that in the future. Feldman also starred in The Goonies, claimed that Manson has been obsessed with him for over 20 years. Then the 49-year-old pointed to the several passages about me in his book, Long Road Out of Hell, which was released in February 1998. Feldman added that he first met the shock rocker at the premiere for Howard Stern's 1997 film Private Parts in New York, where the grooming process began. Now, anybody who's watched Howard Stern, and I did back in the day, and, you know, he was a shock jock. That's what he was. That's not acceptable anymore because that's part of the patriarchy, that's part of misogyny. We don't do that anymore. He grabbed my face in front of the crowd and kissed me with his black lipstick, and I couldn't rub it off all night. 6th of February 2021, Wood accuses Manson of anti-Semitism. In an Instagram post, Wood claimed Manson called her a Jew in a derogatory manner. He would draw swastikas over my bedside table when he was mad at me, she added. Wood further alleged that during their relationship she heard the N-word over and over. The actor also posted photographs of Manson's arms, on which she had circled certain tattoos. Wood compared one of the tattoos, a skull and crossbones design, to the neo-Nazi symbol Totenkopf, which was used as an emblem for original branch of the SS. Wood also drew attention to the M swastika tattoo on the singer's chest. She stated that Manson did not have these tattoos when they first began dating. 8th of February 2021, Wolf Alice's Ellie Roswell says Manson filmed up her skirt with a GoPro. Again, upskirting is SA. Unless you have the actual consent from the person you are upskirting. It's SA. Wolf Alice's Ellie Roswell tweeted solidarity to Evan Rachel Wood and those calling out Marilyn Manson. I met Marilyn backstage at a festival a few years ago after his compliments towards my band became more and more hyperbolic. I became suspicious of his behaviour. I was shocked to look down and see he was filming up my skirt with a GoPro. She further claimed that Manson's tour manager told her that the singer does this kind of thing all the time. So he's known for this, hence why his label probably dropped him. 11th of February 2021. Game of Thrones actor Esme Bianco names Manson as her alleged abuser. Bianco, who played Winterfell sex worker in HBO's Game of Thrones adaptation, dated Manson in 2011 after meeting him on the set of an unreleased music video. Speaking to The Cut, Bianco alleged that Manson inflicted cuts and bruises that left permanent scars on her body while they were living together. She also claimed that Manson chased her with an axe and would repeatedly play her sex scene in Game of Thrones to guests in order to humiliate her. I basically felt like a prisoner, Bianco said. I came and went at his pleasure. Who I spoke to was completely controlled by him. I called my family hiding in the closet. That is narcissistic behavior, when they control you and they stop you from doing the things that you would normally do. 30th of April 2021, Bianco files a lawsuit against Manson. In a federal lawsuit, Bianco claimed that Manson violated human trafficking laws by bringing her to California from England under the false pretenses of roles in music videos and movies that never materialized. She alleged that in 2009, Manson flew her to Los Angeles to shoot a video for the song I Want To on a live view like they do in the movies. According to the suit, Manson allegedly deprived Bianco of food and sleep, plied her with alcohol and drugs, locked her in a bedroom, whipped her, gave her electric shocks, tried to force her to have intercourse with another woman, and threatened to enter her room and grape her during the night. The music video was never released. I wonder why. The suit also stated that Manson allegedly brought Bianco to Los Angeles again in 2011, ostensibly to appear in his feature film Phantasmagoria, which has also never been released. I wonder why. During that visit, Bianco alleged that Manson would not allow her to leave home without his permission, chased her around the apartment with an axe, cut her with a Nazi knife without her consent, and photographed the cuts and posted the pictures online also without her consent. 5th of May 2021, Ashley Morgan Smithline describes terrifying alleged abuse. In an interview with People, model Smithline opened up about the alleged abuse Manson inflicted on her. She accused Manson of raping her, cutting her, and locking her in a glass soundproof room called the Bad Girls Room. Whenever she peed him off, she claims to have been locked in the room more than 100 times. Smithline recalled, "He kept telling me, you can't grape someone that you're in love with." Lies. Yes, you can. Husbands grape wives all the time. But wives don't report it because who's going to believe them? The police don't. These things need to change, guys. Smithline recalled, he kept telling, the 36-year-old went on to claim that she was brainwashed by the musician over the course of 2 years, accusing him of carving his initials into her thigh. A spokesperson for Manson denied Smithline's accusations in a statement published by NME, stating, "There are so many falsehoods with her claims that we wouldn't know where to begin to answer them." Something that they do. Something that lawyers will do against somebody who has gone through this kind of SA and DV. It went on to refute her claim that the pair's relationship lasted 2 years between 2010 and 2012, instead alleging that it didn't last 1 week. 28th of May 2021, Manson accused of SA and sexual battery by anonymous ex-girlfriend in a lawsuit filed in LA by a Jane Doe accuser. An anonymous ex-girlfriend of Manson claims he subjected her to degrading acts of sexual exploitation, manipulation, and psychological abuse. During their relationship, which began in 2011, a year after Manson split with Wood, the woman claims Manson showed her a gruesome videotape entitled Groupie, which the singer said he filmed in 1996 after a concert at the Hollywood Bowl. On the tape, the woman claims to have seen a seemingly young teenage fan crying while being berated by Manson, who allegedly threatens her with a firearm and forces her to drink a glass of urine. The woman said that the video left her scared for her own life. According to TMZ, a source close to the singer claimed the video was a scripted short film to be used for a future project that was never officially released. Again, I wonder why these things have never been released. Amid multiple claims of continued SA, the Jane Doe accused Manson of raping her when she went to return a key to his home in 2011. After the alleged rape, the woman claims he threatened to unalive her. In September, a judge dismissed the lawsuit because the woman's claims of delayed discovery or having repressed memories was not sufficient to overcome the statute of limitations, according to legal documents cited by TMZ. Now, here in the UK, we don't have that statute of limitations against any SA, SV, DV crimes, thank goodness. But in the States, they do. And I do believe that that should be removed because somebody who has done it then will continue to do it. 18th of August 2021, Manson accused of spitting and blowing snot on a woman. Manson is currently scheduled to plead no contest to blowing his nose on a videographer in 2019 concert in New Hampshire. According to the affidavit, Manson approached the videographer, put his face close to the camera and spit a big loogie at her. She was struck on both hands with saliva. That's just disgusting. You know? Ugh. Manson allegedly returned a second time, covering one side of his nostril and blowing in Fountain's direction, just like footballers do. Manson initially pleaded not guilty in 2021. His lawyer had said at the time that the type of filming Fountain was doing commonly exposes videographers to incidental contact with bodily fluids. Would it have been any different if it had been another kind of bodily fluid? However, a notice intent filed in July 2023 says that Manson is expected to plead no contest to only one charge and that prosecutors would dismiss the other in the fully negotiated plea. See, these negotiations, it shouldn't happen. They should be guilty or not guilty. And if they're guilty, they should be given the correct punishment. And this needs to be known. This needs to be known that a lot of rock stars will do these kind of things. Now, guys, I'm a fan of Motley Crue, okay? I've seen the movie. I know what things happen backstage because I used to sing in a band. But again, if it's consensual, that's fine. If it's not consensual, it's not fine. A no contest plea means Manson will not contest the charge and does not admit guilt. Manson would face a sentence of a $1,200 fine, with part of it suspended, and 20 hours of community service within 6 months. Manson also would need to remain arrest-free and notify local police of any New Hampshire performances for 2 years. 14th of November 2021. Extensive report claims Manson's apartment was decorated with blood. Rolling Stone spoke to more than 55 people who have known the shock rocker at various points in his life as part of the 9-month investigation. In one report, one person who visited Manson's apartment claimed that there were foo-foos everywhere, while others claimed they saw AIDS spray painted above his bed. Another said the apartment was decorated with blood, swastikas and clipped photos from prawn mags. 14th of November 2021, model Sarah McNeely alleges absolutely terrifying abuse by singer. As part of the Rolling Stone investigation, model Sarah McNeely described the terrifying abuse she allegedly faced at the hands of the 52-year-old artist. She claimed that Manson began abusing her and isolating her from her loved ones just weeks after they became romantically involved. The physical violence was almost a relief, like the mental SHIT that he puts you through, that he infects your brain with, that he brainwashes you. You just want it to stop, McNeely alleged. 23rd of January 2022, Wood claims Marilyn Manson essentially raped her in a music video. Wood accused Manson of essentially raping her on camera during the filming of his 2007 video for Heart-Shaped Glasses. The Golden Globe-nominated actor detailed her relationship with Manson in her documentary Phoenix Rising, which premiered 23rd of January at Sundance Film Festival. Why would these people carry on with this? Why would these women carry on, and men, carry on with this? And she's, you know, made a documentary film. Why would she carry on with this? This, like I said, this trauma stays with you. It doesn't go ever. It's always there. Wood, who was 20 at the time, alleged that she was given absinthe on the set of the video in which she was styled on a character from Stanley Kubrick's 1962 film Lolita, about a man who becomes sexually obsessed with an underage girl. It's nothing like I thought it was going to be, Wood says in the documentary. We're doing things that were not what was pitched to me. We had discussed a simulated sex scene, but once the cameras were rolling, he started penetrating me for real. I had never agreed to that. It was complete chaos. Now, we know that in movies where there are those sort of scenes, that there are a man's doodahs are strapped and or whatchamacallits are used. Similar looking people are used. Think about Love Actually. Days after the documentary's premiere, Manson's lawyer Howard King told The Independent, of all the false claims that Evan Rachel Wood has made about Brian Warner, her imaginative retelling of the making of Heart-Shaped Glasses music video 15 years ago is the most brazen and easiest to disprove because there were multiple witnesses. Who were those witnesses? What gender were they? How much money were they being paid to be witnesses? 27th of April 2022, Bianco expands allegations against Manson. In a new motion filed on 27th of April, Bianco further claimed that Manson impeded her involvement in a planned video for rock band Deftones. According to the motion, in exchange for providing her images, Miss Bianco expected an economic benefit from significant public exposure via the band's worldwide tour and the opportunity to continue working with the highly sought-after creative director who oversaw the project. I'm a fan of Deftones as well. After discovering Bianco was involved with the project, the motion claims that Manson, real name Brian Warner, contacted the band to confront them over Deftones' decision to work with Miss Bianco. It further claims that Warner used his power and influence in the entertainment industry to interfere with Miss Bianco's ability to continue working with Deftones. Bianco has alleged that this interference resulted in reputational damage and loss of future economic opportunity with Deftones. The lawsuit between Bianco and Manson was eventually settled in January this year. The exact terms of the agreement are unknown. Well, you know, in this one, her future economic opportunity was taken away from her. But still, I do think that there should be bigger sentences for things like this. 30th of January 2023, Manson is sued for alleged essay of a minor. An anonymous woman alleged in a filing this year that Manson groomed and sexually assaulted her numerous times in the 90s when she was underage. She alleged that she and a group of other people had been waiting outside Manson's tour bus to meet him when he invited her and one of the other younger girls onto the bus. She alleges that he asked them their age, grade in school, and wrote down their phone numbers and home addresses. While on the tour bus, defendant Warner performed various acts of criminal sexual conduct upon the plaintiff, who was a virgin at the time, including but not limited to forced copulation and foo-foo penetration, the lawsuit read. Plaintiff was in pain, scared, upset, humiliated and confused. After he was done, defendant Warner laughed at her. Then defendant Warner demanded plaintiff to get the F off my bus and threatened plaintiff that if she told anyone, he would unalive her and her family. And that is something that rapists do, especially to younger people, especially to somebody who has never experienced an sexual encounter before. She was terrified, and she has got to live with that memory for the rest of her life. In a statement to The Independent, King responded to the latest lawsuit, saying Warner does not know this individual and has no recollection of ever having met her 28 years ago. Well, probably not, because, I mean, the man probably does, you know, illegal substances. It's rock and roll. He certainly was never intimate with her. She has been shopping her fabricated tale to the tabloids and on podcasts for more than 2 years. But even the most minimal amount of scrutiny reveals the obvious discrepancies in her ever-shifting stories, as well as her extensive collusion with other false accusers, King added. Brian will not submit to this shakedown and the courts won't fall for it either. Well, how does he know the courts won't fall for it? Look at all these allegations against him. Is there truth to this? 18th of September 2023, Manson sentenced to community service after blowing his nose on a videographer. So he was sentenced to the 20 hours of community service and a fine of $1,400 after pleading no contest to blowing his nose. So we talked about that earlier. So that's when he was actually sentenced. 28th of September 2023, Manson settles grape lawsuit filed by Jane Doe. A week before the trial was set to begin, Manson reached a settlement with the anonymous ex-girlfriend who had claimed he subjected her to degrading acts of sexual exploitation, manipulation, and psychological abuse. Manson's attorney hailed the result as a victory. While the Jane Doe accuser told Rolling Stone in a statement, "I was fully prepared for trial and never in a million years thought I would ever settle. But over the past 2.5 years, I have silently endured threats, bullying, harassment, and various forms of intimidation that have intensified over the past few weeks." And guys, think about Taint and how he has done the same thing to those alleged victims in the States, in Florida, I think they are. This is what these people do. This is the enablers around them that enable them and allow them to carry on with this behaviour. 26th of November 2024, Manson agrees to pay Wood's legal fees after dropping defamation suit. Manson drops a defamation lawsuit he brought against Evan Rachel Wood over her accusations that he horrifically abused and groomed her during their time together. He agreed to pay Wood $327,000 in legal fees. In a statement to The Independent, Wood's lawyer Michael Comp said Manson had little choice but to drop his lawsuit after the court granted Wood's motion, ruling that Manson's claims lack merit and gutting his lawsuit. 14th of January 2025, three-part documentary about Manson allegation airs in the UK. The three-part docuseries Marilyn Manson Unmasked is set to be broadcast by the UK's Channel 4 on January 14th, 15th and 16th. I shall be watching that. According to the synopsis, the films will unravel the shocking story of one of rock music's most polarising figures, from his meteoric rise as the self-proclaimed Antichrist superstar to the chilling abuse allegations that have engulfed his career. Guys, I'm going to link this article into the description box below. Also, if you have gone through anything like this and if this article has triggered you in any way, Rape Crisis offers support. You can call them on 0808 802 9999 in England and Wales. And if you need to talk to somebody confidentially, Samaritans, I can't remember the number now. I'll put that in the description box below. I have used them a number of times myself. What do you think? Do you think that he has done these things or hasn't done these things? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button. I hope to see you next time under his eye.